Hi everyone, it's Laura here for SugarPea Designs, and in today's video I'm going to share with you how to create a quick and easy card using the Indian Summer stamp set. I started my card making process by doing some die cutting off camera. I cut some white cardstock using the rectangle die in the SugarPea Designs Card Front Element Builder dies. I then combined that same rectangle die with this hue side die here from the Treescape dies to die cut some green cardstock, and then I also cut some Bristol Smooth cardstock using the zigzag circles dies, also by SugarPea Designs. I decided to spice up this strip using the Follow Your Dreams stamp set and Distress Oxide in Lucky Clover. I picked the design with the triangles from the stamp set, and I'm going to cover the entire area of this strip with this pattern. This was very quick to do, and then I moved on and started adding some color to my circle die cut. For that I used Distress Oxides in Abandoned Coral and Dried Marigold and some blending brushes that helped me achieve a very nice and smooth blend. I'm going to cover the entire area with my Distress Oxides, and basically half of it will be covered with the Abandoned Coral and half of it with the Dried Marigold. And I'm going back and forth, working especially over the transition area so that I get a nice and smooth blend. And once I'm happy with the result, I can go ahead and add some water droplets with a distress sprayer to add some interest to this panel. All my background elements were ready, so I could move on and start working on my images. I stamped one of these sweet raccoons from the Indian Summer stamp set, which is great also for fall because it has some very nice fall and Thanksgiving themed sentiments and images. But today we are going to use it on a card that is great for summer, but actually I think will work all year round. I stamped my image with Spectrum Noir black alcohol-proof ink on some Nina Solar White 110 pounds cardstock, and then I started coloring it with my Spectrum Noir markers. I'm using a little bit of an unusual combination for the fur of the raccoon. I would normally use some warm gray markers, but instead this time I used some blue grays, so these are the BGR markers. And the reason for that is that this card was inspired to the Mix It Up challenge for the month of August. This is a challenge that is running on the SugarPea Designs blog, and you can enter your projects with SugarPea Designs products for a chance to win a gift certificate. There is usually a sketch and a color palette you can be inspired by, and this is exactly what I did for my card today. So that's why I'm choosing this color palette, and also that's why I picked that particular design for my card. For the tree branch where the raccoon is hanging from, I used some EB markers. Now because my EB3 marker, which is my darker one, is considerably darker than the EB2, which is my mid-tone shade, I'm using the tip-to-tip technique, which consists in touching the darker marker with the tip of your lighter marker, and this basically creates an intermediate shade that helps you blend your colors a little bit more easily. For the leaves, I used some yellow greens because those will coordinate nicely with the strip of cardstock we will have on the background, and then I used some skin tone markers to color in the ears and also to create some rosy cheeks on that sweet raccoon. And then I decided that I wanted one more image on my card, so I went ahead and stamped one more raccoon from the Indian Summer stamp set, and I colored it with Spectrum Noir markers using the exact same color palette that I have on the first raccoon. You can see that I had already gone ahead and also die cut the first image with the coordinating dies to the Indian Summer stamp set, and I'll do the same with the second image. And then I can move on and start working on my sentiment, for which I used the SugarPea Designs Everyday Sentiments stamp set. This is a really great set full of sentiments for all occasions in this nice and clean font. I decided to heat emboss it on some dark gray cardstock using some white embossing powder, and before actually melting the embossing powder, I'm making sure that I don't have any stray particles, so I am removing any excess of embossing powder with a paintbrush. I then used the Sentiment Strips dies by SugarPea Designs to die cut a thin strip around the sentiment, and this set is really great because it has different size dies that match all the different sentiments that you have in the Everyday Sentiments stamp set. And then at this point everything was ready and I could go ahead and adhere everything together. To bring in some more gray on my background, I created 2 more curvy strips out of some dark gray cardstock, which I layered with my gray strip. I'm going to adhere that more or less centered, just slightly above the center of the card front with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and then I can go ahead, adhere down my blended circle and finally my images and my sentiment strip. I'm going to make sure that everything is nice and flush on my card front, and then I decided to add a few highlights to the raccoons using a white gel pen. As a very final step, I adhered everything on a top folding A2 card base cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches and scored at 5.5 inches, and that finished off my card for today. And here you can see the final result. I think it turned out really cute with those adorable raccoons, and it was also really simple and really quick to make. And that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I hope I inspired you to create with the SugarPea Designs Indian Summer stamp set. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiration. Thank you all so much for stopping by and have a great day.